Hi there and welcome. This recording is especially for my fellow Cradle Catholics, for those of us who've grown up in the faith, stayed faithful to the church, and lived what we believed to be a good Catholic life. But somewhere along the way, maybe you've started to feel like something's missing, not in terms of belief or practice, but in understanding. Maybe you've started to wonder, is there more to the story I've always believed? If that sounds like you, you're not alone and you're in the right place. I thought I knew the story of Jesus. I was a good, practicing Catholic, Mass on Sundays, Rosary now and then, raising my kids in the faith, and I believed sincerely that Jesus died for me. But I never really asked, why? That started to shift in 2017 when I joined the Christian network at my workplace. It was the first time I saw how fellow Christians from other denominations were really delving into Scripture, studying it, reflecting on it, asking deep questions to get to the inner meaning. At the time, I made peace with myself. I thought about the nativity scene and how there were two kinds of visitors to the manger. First, the shepherds, simple, faithful, responding immediately to the angel's message. And then the wise men, learned travelers from the East who studied charts, interpreted signs, and followed reason all the way to the same destination. Back then, I told myself, it's okay, I'm a shepherd, I believe that's enough. And it was for a time. But now, in 2025, I feel something stirring deeper. A desire not just to believe with my heart, but to understand with my mind. To seek what the wise men sought, without losing the simplicity of the shepherd's faith. That led me to a metaphor that stayed with me. Catholics, like me, are often fed a ready made meal. But this isn't just any meal. It's prepared by the greatest chefs in history. 2000 years of tradition, scripture, councils, saints, theologians. It's rich, balanced, it nourishes the soul. But most of us, we know very little about the ingredients or the work that went into making it. Meanwhile, many of our fellow Christian brothers and sisters, they go to the market themselves. They choose the ingredients, they find the recipe, try it out, make mistakes, learn what works, and eat what they've prepared. Sometimes it's not balanced. Sometimes it's richer than what we are used to. But they know the process intimately. And because of that, their understanding often has depth we don't always appreciate. So now I ask myself a question I've never really examined before. Why did Jesus die for me? I've always believed it and accepted it at face value, but I never paused to ask, couldn't God have just forgiven us? Why did it take suffering? Why blood? Why a cross? Here's how I've begun to understand it. Sin isn't just a bad habit, it's a breaking away from God, rejecting the source of life and goodness. Every time we lie, cheat, gossip, ignore the poor, or turn inward in selfishness, we are saying, I choose my way over yours. And every sin carries a weight, not just individually, but collectively, over time, across generations. That weight adds up. It corrodes relationships, damages souls, and distances us from God. Justice means that all this can't be just swept under the carpet. The Bible puts it plainly: the wages of sin is death, not just physical death, but spiritual separation from God. And someone might ask, isn't that a bit extreme? Why would lying or selfishness deserve death? But here's the thing: the seriousness of sin isn't about how small it feels to us, it's about who we sinned against. If you insult a rock, hit it, break it, nothing happens. If you insult a person, you might damage a relationship. But if you insult a king or rebel against your creator, then the stakes are infinitely higher. Even if we don't believe in God, that doesn't remove the moral weight of our actions. If God exists, then He is the standard, and we are accountable whether we accept that or not. So, no, He couldn't just forgive and forget. That would make Him unjust. But the beauty of Christianity is this: God didn't leave us condemned. Instead, He stepped into the courtroom of human history. He took the penalty Himself. He bore the consequence, not because He had to, but because love compelled Him. The cross is where the full weight of justice was poured out and the full measure of mercy was offered. And for the first time, I'm not just believing this, I'm starting to understand it. I'm still a shepherd, but maybe now I'm walking the path of the wise men too. If you're a cradle Catholic like me, nourished by the faith, but curious about what lies beneath the surface, this journey might be for you too. Thank you for walking with me. Let's keep going together.